myself Pallavi Sharma. We are going to discuss the topic biological classification today. So majorly biological classification is the classification of organism in different groups. So this concept come into light when there is start of civilization. Like जब civilization शुरू हुई थी at that time बायोलॉजिकल क्लासिफिकेशन की नीड भी शुरू हुई थी बिकॉज ह्यूमन्स वांट्स टू क्लासीफाई ऑर्गेनिज्म फॉर देयर ओन बेनिफिट्स. लेकिन उनका कोई क्राइटेरिया नहीं था बट दे वांटेड टू क्लासीफाई ऑर्गेनिज्म फॉर दैट कि वो उनको आइडिया लग सके कि व्हाट इज़ द वो अपने यूज़ के लिए लाइक फूड शेल्टर एंड क्लोथिंग के लिए दे वांटेड टू क्लासीफाई डिफरेंट ऑर्गेनिज्म अराउंड देम इन अ पर्टिकुलर ग्रुप सो दैट वो अपने लिए यूटिलाइज कर सकें. सो कैसे कब शुरू हुई थी विद द डॉन ऑफ सिविलाइजेशन. जब सिविलाइजेशन शुरू हुई थी एट दैट टाइम. द सेकेंड थिंग इज देयर वॉज नो स्पेसिफिक क्राइटेरिया फॉर क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ ऑर्गेनिजम्स into different groups. There was no particular criteria, so we were classifying organism just on the basis of just for the reason for own use only. और वो own use किसके लिए, जैसे food हो गया, shelter and clothing purposes. These are the major purposes we started the classification. The one of the earliest attempt, सबसे earliest attempt was given by this was given by Aristotle. He is considered as the father of biology. Aristotle, so he classified all the organism into two different groups. ठीक है, classified organisms into two groups, that is plants, animals. Plants are classified further into trees, shrubs and herbs on the basis of their height. And animals are classified into two groups on the basis of organism with red blood and organism without red blood. So on this basis Aristotle has classified. So this was the first most earliest attempt was given by Aristotle. Then the first scientific attempt was given by Linnaeus, that is Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus, this is also known as two kingdom classification. So according to Carolus Linnaeus, he classified all the organism on earth into two groups, Plantae and Animalia. But the biggest drawback for this classification was that he was unable to differentiate between eukaryotes and prokaryote. Second is he was unable to classify or unable to differ between unicellular and multicellular organism. And third one is he was unable to classify photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic organism. There was further attempt was also given, that is 3 kingdom, 4 kingdom classification, but was the most accepted classification till now is given by R.H. Whittaker. R.H. Whittaker in 1969. This is also known as 5 kingdom classification. He classified all the organism into 5 different groups on the basis of given criteria. The criteria for his classification was, this is important for the objective and need point of view, that criteria for his classification was, he classified organism on the basis of cell structure. This cell structure include cell type, whether it is prokaryote or eukaryote. Second is cell wall, and third is nuclear membrane. This is the first criteria. Second criteria for his classification was body of organization. Body of organization means whether they are unicellular or multicellular. Third is on the basis of mode of nutrition. They are autotrophic, heterotrophic, saprotrophic in nature or parasitic in nature. So mode of nutrition. Fourth is on the basis of reproduction, what kind of spores they are producing, whether they are undergoing sexual reproduction, asexual or vegetative reproduction, so on the basis of that. And last is phylogenetic relationship. Phylogenetic relationships represent evolutionary history of that organism, whether that organism is surviving or not, or how it is, and how the ancestral form or formed of those organisms. That is what. So this is evolutionary history of that organism. Okay. So now let's conclude with this classification, how he classified. So let us proceed. He considered that organisms are firstly classified into 2 different groups. One type of organism with having organism without nuclear membrane, the cell having no nuclear membrane. Second thing is simple cell or simple structure. Okay. And third is, here we have considered, in cell structure we have considered 3 things: cell wall, nuclear membrane and cell structure. So on the basis of cell wall we cannot classify exactly, so we are considering here 2. So this group contain all the prokaryotic organism. Prokaryotic organism. So all the prokaryotic organisms were kept in single kingdom, which is named as kingdom Monera. Okay. So all the prokaryotic organisms are kept in a single kingdom called as kingdom Monera, while other group that contain nuclear membrane along with they have complex cell structure. Okay. So they are kept in single group. They are not kept in single group. They are known as eukaryotic organism. So Eukaryotic organisms are classified on the basis of body of organization. So on the basis of body of organization, first was whether they are unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular means they have single cell, or multicellular means multi-cells. Okay, so all the unicellular eukaryote are kept in a kingdom which is known as kingdom Protista. Okay, that contain almost all the organisms like Euglena, Amoeba, spores, Paramecium, Plasmodium, all of these. While all the multicellular organisms are further classified on the basis of their mode of nutrition, whether they are autotrophic or heterotrophic. All the autotrophic organisms were kept into the single kingdom which is called as kingdom Plantae, because they have presence of photosynthetic pigments, so they are come under kingdom Plantae. Now heterotrophic organisms are further classified whether these organisms are saprotrophic. Saprotrophic means they are growing on dead decaying organism, or parasitic in nature, and also they are also classified on the basis of their reproduction methods. But yeah, we are considering this nutrition, so all of them are kept under a single group which is known as kingdom fungi, that contain yeast, aspergillus, etc. The second group, which is holozoic. Holozoic, that means they eat food and digest it. Okay, that are the kind of organism. Holozoic or parasitic, they can be parasitic. So holozoic and parasitic, they are kept in a single group which is known as kingdom Animalia. So this is how 5 kingdom of classification is made. First is kingdom Monera, that include all the bacteria or prokaryotic organism. Then eukaryotic organism are further classified into second Protista. Unicellular eukaryote are kept in Protista. Exception is there, because one exception, unicellular eukaryote, but it is saprophytic organism, so that is kept in fungi. उसका example है yeast. Then multicellular eukaryotes are classified into 2 groups, autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophs are kept in different category, that is kingdom Plantae. Heterotrophs are kept in one group, saprotrophic parasitic plant, that is kingdom Fungi, and holozoic parasitic organism which is kingdom Animalia. So this is the 5 kingdom of classification given by R.H. Whittaker, and this is up to for most accepted classification till now. On the basis of reproduction, let me discuss that how we classified these organisms on the basis of reproduction. So if we talk about kingdom Monera, so Monera undergo fission under normal condition, and they undergo spore formation under unfavorable condition. If there is high temperature, high pressure, or environmental changes, so there will be formation of spores, that can be endospore, exospores, it depends upon the organism and species. If we talk about kingdom Fungi, so fungi will undergo formation of sexual as well as asexual spore formation, that we will discuss further in this chapter. But yes, fungi will form asexual as well as sexual spores. Moving on to the kingdom Protista. So Protista undergo cell fusion to form zygote. They undergo cell fusion to form zygote. Moving on to the next, kingdom Plantae. To kingdom Plantae, these organisms usually perform their sexual reproduction, but some of the lower organism or some organism in higher plant as well undergo asexual as well as vegetative propagation as well. Last but not the least is kingdom Animalia. So their most of the life cycle dominantly based on sexual method of reproduction. This is dominant. Not all the organisms undergo sexual reproduction. Some of the animals also perform asexual reproduction, like budding as well, fragmentation as well. Like budding in Hydra. Hydra is an animal, so they do perform this asexual reproduction. But yeah, this is the major dominant form of reproduction. Okay. Then another classification is also given in your book, that is 3 domains of life. This is very recent topic introduced in your NCERT, that is 3 domains of life. This is also known as tree of life. Okay, this is given by Carl Lewis in around 1970s or something. Not very clearly no, but yeah, this is given by Carl Lewis in 1970. You can consider it like this is given in late 70s or in last century. This was given in 20th century. Okay, so he classified all the organism into three domains. Okay, he classified organism into 3 major domains, that is, and these domains that include, he classified all the prokaryote into 2 different groups, that is, one is known as prokarya. Prokarya include all bacteria, and the second domain is, so you can consider this as Monera. Prokarya, this is one domain. Second domain is Archaea. So Archaea contain archaeobacteria. This is the subgroup of kingdom Monera according to R.H. Whitaker, but he classified bacteria into one group, all the prokaryote into 2 groups, that is, one contain Monera, all the bacteria, and Archaea differently, and all the eukaryote were kept in another domain which is known as Eukarya. All the eukaryote, these eukaryote include fungi, then protista, then plants, and last animals. So if we count it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so these are the domains and these are the kingdom. So this classification is also known as 6 kingdom classification. Okay, so this is also known as 6 kingdom classification. 3 domains of life are prokarya, archaea, and eukarya. 6 kingdoms are Monera, archaeobacteria, fungi, protista, plantae or plants, and animalia, animals. This is how he classified all the organisms present on earth. Okay, this is what the 6 kingdom of classification or 3 domains of life is. So there are further attempts to the classification are also given, but these are the most basic and you have to know about it. So moving on to the next, the evolved classification. Apart from this evolved method of classification, all the evolved method of classification are based on the physiological. First is they are based on morphological, morphological external appearance, physiological, how their internal functions are performing, then reproductive similarities, and phylogenetic, evolutionary history. So all the new classification do account all the phylogenetic similarities. That means how we are related to our ancestor, how similar we are to the ancestor. These are the evolved classification, look like evolved method of classification for current classifications. Now let's discuss about the separate kingdom, which is kingdom Monera. So kingdom Monera, as we know that these are ubiquitous. Ubiquitous means they are found everywhere. Like you can find them in water, soil, harsh environment, normal environment, air, snow, everywhere you can find it. They are ubiquitous. Prokaryotic, as we know in the last page we have learned about it, that they have no cell nuclear membrane, so that is why they are prokaryotes. Then they hundreds of bacteria can found in handful of soil. So these are the some major pointers you have to remember about kingdom Monera. Then their habitat, where you can find them. Habitat. So let me change the color for that. They are found in hot springs. Hot spring means like where you find the very high temperature. So bacteria that survive in very high temperature, they are known as thermophils. Apart from this, there are also some organism or some bacteria, they are found in deep oceans. Deep oceans, they are also known as, this is also known as hydrothermal vents. Thermal vents, like deep ocean, bilkul deep down in the ocean. So this is deep ocean, they are also known as thermophils, because their very high pressure and high temperature is present, because it is present to the earth, near to the earth core. Moving on to the next, some of the bacteria, they are found in deserts. Desert is high temperature and high temperature only, and drought condition, less amount of water. So such type of bacteria are known as extremophils. The bacteria that are able to survive in desertic condition, they are, or extreme environment, they are known as extremophils. Moving on to the next, there are bacteria that are able to survive in snow condition. Snow, so they are known as psychrophils. Cold climate, psychrophils. Moving on to the next, and this is habitat, and there are some other class as well, that is parasitic. Parasitic, that means they live inside host and cause disease. Such type of bacteria or such type of microorganisms are known as parasitic. This is a kind of interaction. Okay, on the basis of shape, we have classified our bacteria into different classes, shapes. So first of all is coccus. Coccus means spherical shape. Okay, so coccus will look like this. They can be present in alone, or they can be present in groups or rings. Okay, this is how our coccus bacteria is. So what we have learned, the example, coccus is streptococcus, diplococcus, pneumococcus, these are all. Okay, diplococcus means two cocci are attached together. Streptococcus, chain of coccus bacteria are present in a colony, or present in a ring-like structure, or present in a chain-like manner, is known as streptococcus. Okay, this is example, etc. Second group is rod-like. The rod-like bacteria, these are known as bacillus or rod shape. Okay, so they look like this. Let me change the color. This. Okay, so this is the shape which represents the microorganism lactobacillus, the most common bacteria you have heard till now, which is present in curd, lactobacillus. The third type of shape is present in the organism, which is comma shape, that is known as vibrio. Vibrio is known as comma. These are the bacteria appear like this. You must have heard about Vibrio cholerae, cholera causing bacteria, Vibrio cholerae. This Vibrio cholerae is Vibrio, this comma shaped bacteria. And last is Spirillum. Spirillum is spiral shaped bacteria. Spiral is a kind of bacteria that has no particular shape. This is just like this. This is spiral. Okay, so spiral, there are multiple monospiral, multispiral. So next is they have each of bacteria, they have simple structure, very simple structure, but they have complex behavior. So we can mention about it that each bacteria have they are simple in structure, but they are complex in behavior. Okay, moving on to the next, nutrition. The bacteria are classified into different groups on the basis of nutrition. Majority of them are heterotrophic in nature. Okay, so heterotrophs matlab they are heterotrophs. So heterotrophs means they are depend on other organism for nutrition. Whether they are living or not depends. Okay, so all the heterotrophic organisms or heterotrophic bacteria, this heterotrophic mode of nutrition include parasitic, that they live inside host. They can be saprophytic. Saprophytic, that means they grow on dead decaying organism. They can be decomposer, that they convert organic material into inorganic material or litter, detrivores, etc. Okay, moving on to the second group, which is autotrophic. So there are various type of bacteria. They can be photoautotroph, that means they depend on light for the synthesis of their organic food material. For example, nostoc, Anabaena, or eubacteria. Eubacteria, specifically cyanobacteria. Another group is chemoautotroph. Chemoautotroph includes the organism or bacteria class that depend upon the chemicals present in the medium or their surrounding, from where they obtain the inorganic substances and convert into the organic substances. So on the basis of nutrition, they are of two types, heterotrophs and autotrophs. Heterotrophs are further divided into parasites, saprotroph and decomposer, or detrivores, etc. Autotrophs into two, photoautotroph or chemoautotroph. This is how we have classified monera on the basis of nutrition. Moving on to the next. The monerans are classified, all the monera or all the bacteria are classified into two groups according to the RHB Taker. One group is known as archaeobacteria, and other group is known as eubacteria, and eubacteria is also known as true bacteria. So first we are noticing about archaeobacteria. What is archaeobacteria is, and what are the major characters of archaeobacteria is. Okay, so the organism of the class archaeobacteria of this group, they live in harsh habitat. Harsh habitat means they have very high temperature requirement, very highly acidity, harsh environment, harsh habitat. They are halophils. Halophils means they live in salty area, salt loving area. The organism that survive in salt rich environment is halophils. Then there are thermoacidophils. fills. See, we are going to break it down, this term, to study. Thermo means temperature. So these are the organisms that live in very high temperature rich environment. Okay, then acido, acid rich environment, and fill is loving. So we can say that they live in high temperature, high acidity rich environment. So such type of bacteria or such type of organism are thermoacidophils. Including with that, they live in marshy area. Marshy area is it's like delta region. So you can consider this as daldali area. Okay, so, and because of the marshy area, they live in marshy area, they are also known as methanogens. Methanogen because they have ability to produce methane gas. Okay, moving on to the next. What are the characters of methanogens? So methanogen, they live in gut of ruminants. Ruminants like cow, buffalo, they live in gut of ruminants, like you can mention cow, buffalo, etc. And they have ability to produce methane gas. That is why we can see that there is gobar gas plants, cow dung is used, cow dung or animal dung is used for the production of methane gas, because they have the presence of methanogen in their stomach. So in the dung they have ability to produce methane gas. Methane gas is CH4. So cow dung or any animal dung is able to produce methane gas. That's all. Okay, moving on to the next class, which is eubacteria. Eubacteria is also known as true bacteria. True bacteria, they have rigid cell wall. They have rigid cell wall. Then they are motile. On the basis of motility, motile means presence of flagella. Okay. So presence or absence of flagella. So for flagella we use a term which is known as trichus. Okay, so flagella is trichus. Then if there is single flagella is present, that is monotrichus. Mono means one, trichus means flagella. So one flagella present, that is monoflagellated. The example is Vibrio cholerae. Okay. Second is, if we write about atrichus, A means absent, trichus means flagella. So no flagella at all. That is lactobacillus. Lactobacillus is the bacteria that contain no flagella. Moving on to the next. Next is amphitrichus. Amphi means single flagella at each end. ठीक है, one flagella at each end. This is just like, let me draw it for you. This is just like you have a cell and flagella is just like this. This is amphitrichus condition, and in amphitrichus bacteria the flagella is present at the one end. An example is nitrosomonas. This is nitrogen fixing bacteria. Moving on to the next, cephalotrichus. Cephalo means head and trichus means flagella. So this means many flagella or multiple flagella present at one end only. If we draw it out, so let us draw. Consider this is any bacteria. You can consider any other shape, doesn't matter, it should be bacillus or something else, it can be anything. So number of flagella is present at only one end. This is known as cephalotrichus. An example is Pseudomonas. Fluorescens. Okay, moving on to the next class, which is Lophotrichus. Lophotrichus is almost similar to Cephalotrichus, but there is one difference. This is many flagella at two ends. Okay, so we are going to draw the same diagram, but here we will draw flagella at two ends. Okay, multiple flagella at two ends. Okay, moving on to the next, Peritrichus. So this is the most easy one if you want to try it. Peri means periphery, trichus means flagella. So multiple flagella arranged at periphery. Periphery contain multiple flagella. So the diagram is just like this. Here, multiple flagella at periphery. So the example is Salmonella typhimurium. Salmonella typhi or Salmonella typhimurium. The typhoid causing bacteria have multiple flagella at their body. Okay, so eubacteria is classified into another class, which is cyanobacteria. Okay, the subclass of eubacteria is cyanobacteria A. Cyano represent a color. Okay, so cyano means blue. Okay, and bacteria is bacteria. So these are also known as blue-green algae. Okay, they are also known as they are also known as blue-green algae. Okay, they can be photosynthetic. Okay, let me change the color. Okay, they can be photosynthetic. They can be photosynthetic as well as they can be chemosynthetic. Photosynthetic means they are dependent upon sunlight for the synthesis of the organic material, and chemosynthetic autotroph means they are dependent upon autotroph. They are dependent upon chemicals for the synthesis of their organic matter. Okay, cyanobacteria contain one accessory pigment which shows the similarity to the higher organism they contain. Okay, here I am going to write contain chlorophyll A, which shows similarity with kingdom Plantae. That is why earlier some of their organisms are also kept in this group, that is kingdom Plantae. Okay, so now let us study about some of the characters of photosynthetic and chemosynthetic bacteria. Okay, photosynthetic autotroph cyanobacteria. Okay, so they are unicellular in nature. Unicellular, colonial means they are present in colonies or in groups, or they can be filamentous. Their body contain multiple filaments. Okay, filamentous. Then they can be present in fresh, that means they can be present in flowing water or present in the stagnant water, the normal water. They can be marine, present in salty water as well, marine water, or terrestrial. Terrestrial environment means they are present in land. Okay, terrestrial algae. Okay, these are the major characters. They are unicellular, colonial, filamentous, fresh, marine, terrestrial environment of algae. Okay, they contain gelatinous sheath. Gelatinous sheath, that is gelatin, or mucilaginous sheath, that is also considered as mucilaginous sheath, that makes their appearance slippery. They have ability to bloom in polluted water. This ability of blooming because of presence of high amount of organic material is known as eutrophication. Okay, then there are some of the organism or some of the photosynthetic autotrophic cyanobacteria. They can fix, some of them can fix atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, they can fix atmospheric nitrogen with the presence of specific structure present in their body, that is known as heterocyst. And this heterocyst, you can find this in nostoc and anabina. Both of these are very important for the rice cultivation because they can fix large amount of nitrogen. Okay, moving on to the next, the second class, which is chemosynthetic hetero. Okay, let me draw the first diagram, then we'll move to the next. The body is colonial, filamentous and colonial. Okay, so they appear as just like this. The cells are arranged in a stagnant form. The whole body contains mucilaginous sheath, so we will mention it as just like this. There is presence of specific character or specific structure in their special cell. This is known as heterocyst, and this structure is responsible for nitrogen fixation in these organisms. Okay, so, and there are small granules in present in these cells. Okay, so we are going to mark them as well. Okay, so let us see. This is known as mucilaginous sheath. Okay, that makes their structure slippery. Okay, this structure, this is known as heterocyst. This heterocyst is responsible for nitrogen fixation. At which condition? Under anaerobic condition. Only the heterocyst cells are working in anaerobic, that means oxygen absent condition. Other of the cell contain chlorophyll. They are performing photosynthesis. These are known as normal aerobic cells. So they are undergoing aerobic respiration to fix the atmospheric carbon dioxide, while these are the cells that undergo anaerobic respiration to fix atmospheric nitrogen into the nitrite or nitrate, so that it can be provided to the soil. Okay, so this is the structure